Hello everybody, Lokimagics, another day, another video, but in this video today we're going to talk about Khoronar because Mr. Santoso here has asked me to make a video on this champion. You can see the comment right there, and I told him I would, but he primarily wants to know, that his Khoronar doesn't seem to be as good as others in the arena, and he feels like his is not performing well in faction wars. So let's make a video spotlighting this champion, check him out, see how he performs for me since I did pull one a while back. And yeah, let's just dive right into it and start the video. So first up is aesthetics, and I have to say right off the bat, this champion looks great. He is one very cool looking dude. I definitely like his backstory. I really like it when playing puts together champions with like the aesthetic and design matching the reason why they're in the game, right? If that makes sense, it just really helps you to associate with these characters. It really kind of just nails it and brings it home for me. So knowing his backstory with this champion right here, you can see that she's rocking the rose headband, the rose tattoo on her back. It all comes together and just makes this champion fleshed out and much cooler, right? You can see his sword is broken. He has like the shard pieces from his sword on his chest, I guess. I'm not sure why, but maybe there's more story to that. But overall, fantastic looking champion. But we all know in this game, it's not just about looks. What can this guy actually do? So let's talk about his skills. Now his A1 attacks all enemies, has a 50% chance to decrease in each target's turn meter by 5%. Now if you have his companion in the same team, he will attack 2 times and you have a 100% chance to decrease turn meter, but every other hit will be reduced by 50%. So this might be why it feels like he doesn't hit that hard, but we will see. Now his A2 has a 75% chance bucked up to 100% chance of placing provoke debuff on all enemies for 1 turn, and he will also place block debuffs and a 60% increased defense on himself for 2 turns, right? So this is really cool because sometimes in spiders dungeons you provoke all the spiderlings, which is cool, right? But you get all the poisons and you die. But this champion here, he's kind of smart about it. He's like, okay, I'll provoke you and put block debuff, so he's good to go, right? So this A2 has a lot of good synergy in here, so I like his A2. Very smart A2. And another thing to note here is if you have his companion, he will remove all debuffs from himself if his companion is on the team. So there's a lot going on here, but that part of this A2 I don't think really makes or breaks this champion. It's just an extra perk, right? So nothing too crazy with his companion there. Now his A3 attacks all enemies, places 50% decreased attack on all enemies for 2 turns, and he will place a decreased defense debuff on targets under decreased attack. So pretty much this kind of confused me at first, but if there's nothing on the enemies, he will place decreased attack. But if there is a decreased attack on the enemies, he will place decreased defense instead. So you're not getting both out of this one move. It's going to be one or the other, okay? So super important, but it's still good. It's kind of like smart in a way, right? Because if they already have decreased attack, why apply it? Instead he does decreased defense. So kind of a cool mechanic right there with his A3. But this passive is what really gives him all the glory and greatness from the champion, because he counterattacks whenever hit by enemies under decreased attack, decreased defense, or decreased speed. Now if you have his companion in the same team, he will always counterattack if he gets hit, right? But it doesn't matter. Honestly, his companion does add some value to him, but this champion by himself is fantastic. You really don't need her to make this champion great. He's already good. Having her is a bonus, but that could be a whole nother topic. But let's continue on to his last passive here, and this right here places increased defense buff on all allies for 2 turns if he kills anybody. So you can see this champion has a lot going on. But with all that being said, let's move over to his masteries. Okay, so naturally when it comes to masteries, don't always copy and paste. Kind of think about what you want to do with your champion and your team comp before you make your final decisions. But luckily we could always reset for some gems, right? But when it comes to this champion right here, I really think this mastery setup is almost close to perfect and pretty good. And let me explain why. Because look, naturally Khoronar already does a lot of debuffs, right? So you definitely want to go down support tree. You want to get some accuracy much as you can. Now you could probably go with Lore Steel or Evil Eye, that'll be up to you. But you know, Master Hexer 2, I feel like if you could increase the duration of that decrease attack or decrease defense, you know, more the better, right? So that's why I went to Master Hexer. You could probably tweak this around a little bit, maybe get some turn meter manipulation, even go down to Eagle Eye if you want, if you're lacking with some accuracy in your artifacts. But I guess the real hard decision is, do you go offense or defense? Now, I think defense for this champion is going to be a lot better because, one, you know, this is going to give him a little bit more survivability. Right here, you're going to get counter attack if he loses a lot of HP, right? Because he's provoking. So, you know, every time he attacks, it's a potential to do a lot of destruction to your opponents. And having this right here, I think is really cool because has a 20% chance to counterattack an enemy when they apply stun, sleep, fear, true fear, or freeze. And right now in the game, fear, true fear, and freeze is starting to kind of be more abundant, I guess. So having this on Khoronar is definitely going to give you a little bit of the edge. And I think this right here, Fearsome Presence, is going to be super cool because I think the best way to gear this guy is using a provoke set, stun set, anything like that. I think is going to add ton of value to your champion. So I really feel like this setup, this mastery is good to go for this champion, but nothing's stopping you from using the offensive tree. Like I said, it's totally up to you, but for me, I think this setup here works just fine for PvE, PvP, arena, all that stuff. So that's his masteries, just my opinion. This is how I would do it. You know, maybe tweak a little few things here and there according to your needs, but let's move over to his artifacts. All right, so this is what my Khoronar is wearing. He is wearing stun set with immortal set. Now, I personally think provoke set is probably better for this champion, but I don't really have any good provoke set, so I went with stun set, which I think is also really good. But if I had to make a final decision, I would probably go with provoke set for Khoronar, right? Because if you stun the enemy, they're not going to attack, and you can't take advantage of his passive. But if you provoke them, they will attack, and you can take advantage of that, right? So I don't know, that's really hit or miss, I guess. But anyways, let's talk about his total stats. Now, he has a lot of HP, his defense is okay, speed's okay, crit rate's good, crit damage okay, resistance and accuracy is pretty on par with what you need for in-game PvE content. I think this is a great build for him when you're just doing dungeons, campaign, things like that, right? But when it comes to arena, now gold 4 and closer to plat range, I think this build will be just fine. But if you want to use them in platinum arena, man, you're gonna have to boost up that speed, that accuracy, or he's not going to be effective. But we'll talk about that a little bit more when we get into the arena. I'll just showing you what I was using in this video. And with all that being said, let's finally showcase this guy in some content and see how well he does. All right, so when it comes to dungeon content, campaign, all that PvE type of content, Khoronar is fantastic. There's really no comparison to what type of, I guess, value he could bring to your team comp. Like, this guy is definitely a game changer for you. You already know, right? We don't even need to ask the question. For faction wars, absolutely yes, this guy is going to be super good for you. But you can see right now in the background, we got the split screen going on. We got one with his companion and one without his companion, and they're pretty much on par. Like, I think the one with Steel Skull finishes faster than the one with his companion. So it's very interesting, right? Like, you would think that his companion will bring out the best of him, which she does, but I really think you really don't need his companion to make him a good champion. This guy already right out the box is super good. So if you do pull a Khoronar, definitely don't go crazy trying to get his companion. It's cool to have if you're like a completionist. Sorry, I don't know why that word was difficult. But in that essence, if you're like a collector, yeah, sure, right? But, you know, don't feel like you're missing out if you don't have his companion. This guy technically is better without her in some cases, because it's all going to depend on your team comp. But easily, you can see the one above finished earlier. Now there is some RNG with every run, right? But this run here on the bottom is still taking some time. So you can make that determination yourself. I just personally don't think you need his companion to feel like he's a good champion. And you can see their damage outputs, not too bad. And now let's run over to Spiders 20 just to touch up on a few things. All right, so this is the continuation clip from the Spiders 20 you saw earlier in the video, but I just wanted to point out a few things. If you're running Khoronar, he's fantastic, right? He's going to be able to provoke the Spiderlings and keep them off your squishy champions. So you could bring Royal Guard, Cold Heart, whoever. He's going to protect them. Just make sure your team comp is speed tuned. If not, it just kind of gets messy, right? But I'm sure you guys already know that Khoronar is definitely a super good champion for Spiders 20. You just have to make sure your team comp is speed tuned and you got the right champs in there. But he's a huge help. And like how we said earlier, faction wars. Now, this champion, come on, like he's just so good when it comes to PvE content. Like there's no question about it. 100% game changing PvE super void Lego. Get him. Book them. Well, you know, you probably don't have to book him fully. I would say if, you know, you just need that little bit more out of him, then book him. But if, you know, you're doing just fine without booking him, then you're good to go, right? So that's really up to you to decide. But for me, I think that he's such a good champion. I just straight away booked him. Maybe I got a little excited, but regardless, this guy is super good for PvE. Now the thing though here, this is the tricky part. When it comes to arena PvP content, it's slightly a different story. So let's go over there and talk about that for a little bit. Okay, so right now in the arena, it's a mess, right? You got all these bots. I really don't know how I feel about it. I'm not a huge fan of just having a bunch of easy wins. I get why they do it because you got to farm those medals, but you know, it kind of makes it very hard to judge if a champion is really good. Because right here, I'm not sure these are bots or not, but you can see Khoronar using, you know, Royal Guard, Madame Cerise, and Arbiter. He does his job, right? He's provoking. He has that stun set on, so they're stunned. They're attacking him. He's going back in and attacking them back. It's a very simple fight for this champion when it comes to easier content in the arena. For sure, he's going to do some work for you. But when we get up into the platinum range, oh man, it becomes a completely different story. But you guys probably also already know that. All right, let's talk about some hardcore arena. So their Duchess was way faster, but it's okay. We did our thing. Now with Madam, we're going to be able to strip, which is cool because we got decreased defense and attack. So Khoronar is going to do his thing. And you can see that Duchess got stunned. So that stun set came through. And the most annoying person on this team is probably Rotos. So sorry, Rotos, you got to go, man. And from here, we could provoke, but we got resisted by, was Hollow Jack or Harvest Jack, sorry. So yeah, see, you got to get that accuracy up if you're going to run this guy in arena for sure. But we got some stuns, right? Because stun set doesn't need accuracy because it's a stun set. So you can see we have stun Duchess and Harvest Jack. Definitely useful, right? Now provoke might be also good in this situation, but Duchess has that A1 where she puts up a shield. So maybe, so very situational between stun set and provoke set. But you see right here, we're gonna, fear. Yeah, fear and freeze is starting to become kind of popular. All right, nothing happened, cool. Harvest Jack is almost dead. So this is pretty much a win at this point. But you know, Khoronar definitely added some value here. He was helping out with his provokes, his stuns, right? Because Duchess kept getting stunned, which is another reason why resistance is very important when it comes to arena. So the way we have our Khoronar built out is he's good for PvE, but man, if you want to compete in arena with this champion, you definitely got to boost up accuracy, resistance, and speed. It's like critical, it's crucial. But we get the job done anyways. And I do also want to mention here, block deep buffs is Khoronar's worst nightmare. All right, so next up we got Khoronar versus Khoronar, but there is a lot happening in this battle, so I'll try to break it down. You saw Hegemon did his thing, no worries. But we got Madame Cerise, so we're going to be able to strip, put decreased defense and attack on. Madame Cerise is probably the most threatening person on their team, so we're going to take her out. And we could use his A2. Now this doesn't attack, so they're not going to retaliate on us. And I guess, well, I don't know why I clicked him. Now he's going to hit us back, but no problem, right? We're good to go. He's going to attack back, no stuns, it's fine. We're just going to decrease the turn meter of Hegemon. So the enemy Khoronar attacks us and he got feared, right? So he has fear on him now, and I'm telling you, definitely give him resistance because you'll see right here that fear screws him over just a little bit because our guy is going to attack, but you saw that fear provoked and he couldn't attack us back. So we'll play it back one more time so you can see it in slow-mo. We attack, and he tries to use his passive with that fear proc, and he couldn't do anything. So that's really the thing with the champion. Gotta give him resistance or he's not gonna be effective, right? So just a little bit earlier, I said that block debuffs is Khoronar's worst nightmare. So we got Duchess here. She's fast, put up block debuffs, and this really makes Khoronar super useless. But let's take out his companion. All right, so that's one down. And having this block debuff, and let's extend it too, really makes Khoronar so terrible because the thing is, no one could put decreased attack or defense or decreased speed on you, and his passive is not going to proc anymore, right? And you can see we did try to provoke, but it got resisted. So once again, 100%, you're going to need accuracy on the champion to compete in higher arena content. All right, so let's see, we provoke, they resist that also. So they probably got a lot of resistance because I think my Chris has at least 300 accuracy. Okay, but you can see we got some stuns on right here. We stun both of these guys because of that stun set. Super good, right? So stun set's pretty cool. And Khoronar is also a little bit squishy. So, you know, overall, I really do like Khoronar, but I really think, though, to build this guy out properly for Arena, you're going to have to put in some work. Alright, so let's do some final thoughts and wrap this video up. Now, seriously, guys, Khoronar straight up is a great champion. PvE content, this guy got you, man. 100% probably one of the best game-changing type of champion in that area. Now, when it comes to PvP, early PvP all the way up to late Gold 4, excellent champion. He's going to help you out, do a lot for you. But when it comes to in-game PvP, Platinum, Arena type stuff, man, Khoronar has a lot of things to go through because Sifi's super fast, right? So if your Khoronar's not going fast, putting up those provokes, decrease attack, defense, or decrease speed by someone else, he's not going to be effective, right? And then if you got other champions like Duchess that could put up block debuffs faster than you, stun you, there's a lot of meta champions out there right now that are just way too fast, super good resistance, and it really shuts down Khoronar. It's almost like the meta champions is literally a hard counter to Khoronar, so I can see why he struggles a lot in super high-end arena. Now, if you have crazy gear and crazy champions, you could probably overcome some of this, right? And probably make Khoronar the meta, but when you look through the top 300, you just don't see too much of them. You see him a little bit, but not that much, right? Because, you know, this guy isn't that type of champion right now. Not saying he will never be, but for the current state of the game, it's just, man, it is hard for this dude to rise to the top. But everywhere else, though, he is good. And for most people, I mean, finishing plat is not even a priority. So for most people, this guy is just good to go regardless, right? It's not even an issue for you to compete in plat right now. You know, maybe later go for it, it gets kind of challenging, but this guy could definitely hang in that area. Just gotta give him the right gear, gotta make him fast, gotta give him some accuracy, and he'll do just fine for you. He's not probably a champion that does a lot of damage, but overall though, great champion, super solid, super strong. Can't really complain about this guy. I'm super glad I pulled him, and I'm gonna personally try to make him to be one of my top platinum finishers, right? I'm gonna try to finish plat with this guy. I just gotta get some more better gear for this dude, and I should be good to go. But with all that being said, guys, it is Thanksgiving, so hopefully you guys enjoyed your week and your weekend, and I'll catch you on the next video. But till then, take care, be safe, and yeah, see you later. Peace.